thrilling story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Warner Anderson as Matthew Swain, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, and Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson.
Vincent and Kenneth Markham have come to Peyton Place. Vincent Markham has lived his life in the world of compassionate medicine, a life of service, of dedication. But as he approaches his middle years, he remains a twin. In his mind, one half of a complete human being.
Yes.
I have a call for you from Philadelphia, a Mr. Ferguson.
Ferguson? Are you sure that call is for me?
Well, they said Markham.
Is it for Dr. Markham?
Just a minute, please, Doctor. I'm very sorry, Doctor. The call is
For Kenneth Markham. Well, I think you can find him at the local brokerage office or the tennis court or the bank. My name is Vincent Markham. Would you please remember that in the future?
Sorry I couldn't wait for you. I'm due over at the hospital in just a few minutes.
Oh, no, that's all right, Doctor. I seldom eat lunch. Well, I've been on an unguided tour of Peyton Place. You know, it's a funny thing. I must have been in 50 towns this size in the past few years, and I've always found hidden away somewhere is an industrial white elephant. And sure enough, I found one here. The Peyton Mill.
Well, do you enjoy hunting the elephant, or is it the kill you like?
Oh, I enjoy killing, Doctor. Unless I have a year where I need a big tax loss. But actually, the hunt is more fun. It's you find it, you capture it, and you make it work for you. Oh, no, thank you. Waitress, I'm Kenneth Markham. I'm expecting a call from Philadelphia. Could you ask the switchboard operator to put it through to me here if it comes in?
Yes?
May I have my check, please?
Yes.
Well, I imagine you've gathered that I failed to change Vincent's mind about going back to Peru.
Mr. Markham, maybe we're both too intimidated or threatened by what I'm beginning to believe is the truth about your brother. That is, he's a fiercely, unselfishly dedicated man. Now, I know that may make us seem smaller or considerably less important human beings, but nevertheless, it may be true.
Well, there's no doubt that he's fiercely dedicated, but I've often found that dedicated man to be quite selfish, Doctor. I'm his brother, twin brother. I think I know him almost as well as I know myself.
Well, I can believe that, but you must admit
I do know him, Doctor. Now, normally I wouldn't discuss this, but since you're involved professionally, I think I know what it will take to make him give up his threat to kill himself by going back to Peru. You see, he has to beat me. Has to make me give up something I hold dearly. Money. Now, he's already turned down my direct appeal. That was to be expected, so I'm going to give him what he wants of me and approach him through his work, which is more or less the best of two worlds. I'm going to finance him the ethical way. Set up a foundation for him, and he can run it as he sees fit, but most important, wherever he sees fit. It'll be in 6 figures, Doctor. Do you think that'll be enough for my brother to love his neighbor for a year?
well, I only hope he'll accept it.
Oh, he'll accept. Oh, Vincent. Yeah, he hasn't changed a bit. Still the ungiving, uncompromising, woman-shy bachelor.
What?
He's always been alone. I sometimes feel that he thinks there isn't a woman good enough to live with him.
What do you mean he hasn't told you? Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not the one to, Your brother's married. His wife's name is Claire Morton. She's a doctor also. They were married in Peru. She's the daughter of the chief of staff here at the Peyton Place Hospital.
Vincent's married?
Yes.
Why, Dad? I can hardly believe it. Well, that's why he must be here, because his wife is here. Vincent has a wife.
Not for long, I'm afraid. Well, she's about giving up on him. I think they're about ready to get a divorce.
Ah. Can I meet her? Is she still here?
Oh, yes, I think so. She's on duty over at the hospital now, where I should be.
The call you're expecting from Philadelphia came shortly before you arrived. They said they'd call back, Mr. Markham.
Ah, thank you. Could you tell the switchboard operator that if it does come in again, to put it through to the...
Doctor's hospital over there.
And to avoid any confusion, I can be reached at Dr. Rossi's office.
All right.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Dr. Russell.
Claire, this is Kenneth Markham.
I'm delighted to meet you, Claire. Of course, if you keep on staring at me like that.
Oh, please forgive me.
I'd forgive anything except confusing me with Vincent.
Right, excuse me.
I asked to meet you. I hope you don't mind. Would you sit down?
Thank you.
I understand that you're divorcing Vincent.
Yes?
Have you been married long?
No, not long. What is it you want to know?
Oh, I don't know, Claire. I just wanted to meet you. We are related until the divorce is final. And we do have in common an association with a humble and devoted servant of the sick and needy.
He is a humble and devoted servant of the sick and needy.
I'm his brother, Claire. You don't have to pretend with me.
That's right, I don't. And I don't have to cut Vincent's throat to satisfy any brotherly need of yours either. Goodbye, Mr. Markham.
Goodbye. Dr. Rossi's office? Oh, yes, speaking. Put him on. Ferguson. Yeah. Just tell me how much. Now, I don't want the text of the applicable law. How much? Okay, just a minute. $110,000 a year, Dr. Rossi. You think that'll satisfy the needs of my unselfish, devoted, dedicated giant of a brother?
Had to happen this afternoon. Big accident on the highway just as I left White River. Traffic was piled up for a mile.
Cup of coffee help?
Oh, please. Did you finish the report?
Yes, the original's on your desk in the black binder.
I got it. I'm afraid I could have improved my choice of language.
Oh, it's simple and direct, Mr. Schuster. Coffee?
Thank you. Spent 10 minutes shaving this morning thinking about the word irrevocable.
That's page 21. I'm sorry, it's page 22.
Yes, here it is. It looks overwhelming in print.
Well, I can change it for you if you'd like, something a little softer.
Fine. Terribly strong word.
Yes.
And yet expresses my feelings exactly. Once we decide, or once Martin Peyton decides to rebuild a production department, it is an irrevocable decision. Of course, there are other ways of putting it.
Only take me a few minutes to retype the page.
Give me a few minutes to think it over, Mrs. Anderson. Sometimes in the north light of day,
I'll be in my office. Oh, Rodney Harrington was here. He was waiting. He said he'll be back. just the correspondence.
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
Well, it could wait.
I was just wondering how your former boss would have handled this report.
You've read his reports?
Yep. Most of them.
Well, then you know. Mr. Schuster,
Yes.
you're always comparing yourself to Leslie Harrington. Why?
Well, he was my predecessor. I suppose I was looking for reassurance.
Reassurance? Why, Mr. Schuster, you have a great advantage over Mr. Harrington. Your life is in order. You can devote all of your time to running the mill. Oh, I know you must have your problems with Kim and her deafness, but, well, you seem to handle it so well. You have a sense of organization. Everything's in its right place.
It used to be. I'm not so sure now. I started out as a professor of business administration.
Oh, that. It wasn't in your biography.
Vincent.
In the Peyton office and out to the press.
So I cut out the academic background. Actually, I didn't make the switch in one big jump. I was a consultant. I suppose if I hadn't met Doris, I'd never have left the campus.
I very much doubt that. You know, there is one thing that you and Mr. Harrington have in common. I think it takes, a great deal of drive to wind up where you are right now. The kind of drive that somebody has to... Leslie Harrington has it. So do you. Both of you are Monday's heroes.
Monday's heroes. Your husband won a trunk full of medals during the war, didn't he?
George was a good man when he faced an identifiable enemy. But when every day of his life became an enemy...
Especially...
And then every day of the week after that. You know, sometimes I think a lot of us women are too busy feeling sorry for ourselves around the house to realize what a man faces when he leaves the house.
You're a romantic, Mrs. Anderson.
I've been accused of that before.
That's not an accusation, that's a compliment.
Well, I guess I better finish that correspondence. Did you decide about the report? Shall I change page 22?
No. Leave it as it is. Send 2 copies to Mr. Dowell as a professional courtesy, and I'll keep this from Martin Peyton. This is not going to make me very popular, Julie. It may even send me back to New York. But I'm afraid I've made an irrevocable decision.
I'm afraid you have, Mr. Schuster.
And this qualifies me as a Monday hero.
Yes, sir.